Oh my God, it's Patrick. Patrick, how the hell you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time since Las Vegas.
It's been way too long, Bobby. And yeah, how you been?
I'm
It's
good.
great
I'm
to see
good.
you.
I'm good. The pandemic was good to me because I like to hibernate. So that was nice. Everybody else was freaking out, but the Bears didn't have to worry about anything. We just sat there and watched two people kind of go crazy. Uh,
Yeah, can you even catch COVID, Bobby?
no, no. And we told the bats stay away from us, and so no, 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 no. And we feel bad for the monkeys because they're not responsible for monkeypox. That's the rats. And now the monkeys feel bad. But, life is tough all the way around. How was the pandemic for you? How many businesses did you start?
Well, yeah, the pandemic basically gave me, a fortunate position because I still had my day job. And so
Yes.
I decided, like, hey, I was going to go around the conference speaking circuit. I had done my first conference in February of 2020. And then,
Yep.
of
And it was
course,
big, and you did great. And then COVID hit.
exactly. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? I got to do something with this time. And
Right.
a dear friend of mine had just had a child. And so he wanted to be very cautious. So we basically used these sort of Zoom catch ups to throw around some ideas. And we started a website together
What's the
called
website?
Nanoglobals.
What
Yeah,
nano? What's that?
yeah,
What's it do?
so Nanoglobals, it basically centers around my expertise. So outsourcing, remote work,
Right.
providing lots of like sort of business education about these types of areas.
All the things
Uh,
that everybody needed once the pandemic hit. You were already an expert on it.
exactly. And we're both self-confessed SEO hacks from back in
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
day,
And
and
for
so we
people that
thought.
don't know what that is, why don't you explain to them what SEO stands for?
So SEO is a search engine optimization. So basically, when you go onto Google and you search any query,
Right.
Google at this point is basically a question and answer platform. There is a whole lot of factors that go into what results get shown to you.
Right.
Specifically, hopefully, Google is aiming to make sure that the result that they serve to you is relevant to what you're searching, so that
Right.
you don't go to Bing, DuckDuckGo, or
Right.
any of the other competitors. Um, so we built this website around that foundation, and we just crossed the 70,000 monthly website
That's awesome.
visitor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an amazing accomplishment.
So you call it search engine optimization. That's what you call SEO?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it stood for sorry, everybody else is on page one. That's what I thought. I thought SEO was I'm sorry, everybody else is on page one, not you. But it is search engine optimization. I learned something new today. Thank you, Patrick. That's very good for me to know.
Of course, Bobby.
It's very hard to be a bear. You got to keep up with everything in social media. So what does the site do?
So the site provides, I would say, advice to people who are starting what is the title term, a nano global. So the nano global is a term that we devised to be sort of like a brandable term that encompasses a certain type of company. And
Gotcha.
the company is what used to be referred to 10 years ago as a micro multinational. These are
Okay.
companies with 50, 100 employees, but they're spread all across the world. And
Right.
the thesis here is that it used to be that only big companies could set up operations in multiple countries, the
Right.
McDonald's of the world, the Starbucks.
Right.
But increasingly, what we're seeing is that companies are spread out like all over the place. Even my current day job is a classic example of this. Rootstrap, where we're based in the United States. We've also got people in Argentina,
Right.
Colombia, Uruguay, India, Portugal, and
So
that's
how many accents in the day job?
so many accents.
Yes.
And it gets very confusing. I mean, even my accent, but I'm here in Los Angeles, so it's like an Australian in America. Then I've got an American who's in Portugal. You got
Sounds
people
like
all over the
everybody's
place.
lost.
Yeah, no one knows where we should be.
Nobody knows where. None of your people are looking at their passports and saying that's where I should be.
Oh, especially not myself. No,
Yes.
my passport's filled with stamps of every other country other than the one that I should be calling home.
That's right. Well, you weren't allowed to go back to Australia for a long time, right?
Yeah, literally was completely shut off. And then even when you were allowed, I was a little scared because there were some rules around if you come back and you're an Australian citizen, we might not let you leave. So
that doesn't seem fair.
Certainly didn't want to jeopardize my place in the United States. So I just sort of said, look, I'm gonna wait around. I'm gonna sit here in tight. But now I finally scheduled a trip back to see the family in November.
Oh, that's good. And you can do the whole act like you care tour and then come back to America.
Exactly.
Smart.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great. It's it's also my 10-year high school reunion, so it'll be nice.
Oh, that'll be fun. Are you the only one that's really made anything of themselves in the 10-year? Because that's always fun when you're like the head honcho and everybody else is like not even they haven't done jack.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't like terrible in school, but I wasn't like certainly up there. And so it will be nice to put one over on the old mates.
That's very good. Is that going to be catered by Mackers?
Oh, it should be. If it's not catered by Mackers, I'm putting in a request.
Explain to everybody what Mackers is, because a lot of people don't know. They don't understand. Mackers is.
Yeah, so Mackers is McDonald's.
Yeah, it's McDonald's.
But we call it Mackers to the point that every single McDonald's restaurant in Australia has renamed itself officially on its signage and everything to Mackers, because that's what Australians call it, and we can't say the whole word. That's
hysterical. I love it. Well, Australians are a unique breed of people.
You can say that again.
I mean, it's hard to get to Australia, and then, like you said, if you get there, they might not let you go.
Yeah, I don't even know why those rules were in place, but I guess being an island, they were a little scared. But they didn't even do the full job, right? Because COVID did end up reaching there. So
Yeah.
There you go.
It's certainly it's everywhere. It's running its course. Now that we're on the other side of it, and people can now go out and catch the most recent version of it, what are you planning on speaking more?
Oh, don't trigger me, Bobby. That's where I just got it. So I went to Chicago for a Salesforce conference.
Salesforce conference? Why do they got to have a conference? They're already stealing everybody's information. Why do they got to have a conference? They already own the whole world, Salesforce.
Because they're going to make you feel good while they're.
Oh, they got to they got to give you some false hope. They got all your data, people. That's a big company. So you spoke there?
Yeah, I spoke there. 300 people, really good conference experience. Was really excited to sort of get that traction going again. The second I come back, I start having symptoms, and then right on my birthday, it really hit hard. It was.
Oh, you went positive, huh? You talked, you caught it, you came back, you did the whole circuit.
All I'll say is I can see why we shut down the world for 2 years, because it was the worst illness I've ever got in my life.
Did you do any TikTok videos? Because that's usually what people like to do. They like to do the TikTok videos when they get, I don't know why, but they do. So what was the worst part of having COVID?
Just like the throat was really sore. Like migraines were bad, like chills, sweats. I couldn't taste for a bit there.
Wow.
Like, that was really bad when it didn't matter what food you got. We literally just got Panda Express because we were like, might as well not get.
It didn't matter. It
didn't matter, right?
Well, so, thanks for ordering from my cousins. They do a great job. The Pandas are very good cooks, and they express it to you. That's the whole point there. Don't forget the chow mein and what's the chicken? I forget the chicken.
Oh,
chicken, right?
Orange chicken. Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, so what tip would you give to a company that needs to kind of use the stuff that you know how to use?
I think the number one thing is that people need to adjust how they approach even their entire company cadences and structures for this world. And this, I think, is particularly pertinent right now, where we're seeing a lot of companies return to office.
Yeah, makes sense.
And they usually say the same thing. They're like, oh, like return to office is so hard. Like this is, why we need to be back here together in person doing collaboration. And all I would say is, if you feel like you need in-person collaboration, then you probably just never created the right type of management, the right type of meetings, the right type of communication for you to be successful remotely. Like,
that's right. That's exactly right. You know what I say to people that really are rah, back to the office, right? You know what I tell them? You know what I say to them?
What do you say, Bob?
Oh, you just don't like your family. You don't want to be at home with your family. You don't have to deal with your kids and your significant others. That's what it is. It's not about being back at work. That's all that is.
I couldn't agree more. It's funny because I just consistently have seen, my team has done really well.
Yep.
We've created really good productivity. We literally perform at a level of 3 times a team size. Yeah. And I think a big part of that is because we've learned how to work effectively. And so these managers who go, oh, I can't do it, it's impossible. It's like, no, it's not impossible. You just haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's impossible to you because you can't use the left and the right side of your brain at the same time. That's what you should say to them. That's why it's hard for them. Well, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. And I'm sorry you got COVID.
Thanks, Bobby. I really appreciate that.
But thanks for coming on this season.
Of course.
You're the first guy this year. So far, it's been all women. So this is good.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're balancing out the gender.
Yeah. I need to do 2 more men and then it'll be even. And so that's good. Well, thanks for coming on, Patrick.
Thanks, Bobby.